Not your conventional RS car. Ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, welcome to the Audi RSQ3. RS mode. Have a listen. It definitely sounds like an RS car, that's for sure. The Audi RSQ3, it's one of these cars that, you know, when you first see it, you're not sure about it. And I'm still not sure about it. Now, what do we get in this car? First of all, this car has, in fact, let's just slow down, we've got a horse here, we've got to be careful here, let's not scare the horse, because this does have the 2.5 5-cylinder engine. It does make some noise. It produces 400 PS, so just under 400 horsepower, and it produces just about 450 Newton meters of torque, which is pretty good going. Although, this is the same platform you'd find in the RS3 and the Audi TT RS. But if you think this is anything like the Audi TT RS and the RS3, you're going to be mistaken. First of all, this is a compact SUV. Also, it weighs 1,700 kilos. The ride height is a lot higher than you get in those cars. And that's where I think this car is a little bit confused. But it does sound good. It does sound good. In terms of the color, what do you think? This is called Kyalami, I think it's Kyalami or Kyamani green. Now I think the Audi engineers or the Audi team that designed the color combos for these cars must have loved fruit drinks, because you've got Tango red, you got Kyalami green, but I think the Kyalami green looks wicked. I really do. It's the kind of color you'd expect to find on a supercar, not a Q3 or an RSQ3. So what about a 0 to 62? Well, let's find out. That's 60. That was a very, very slow start. I must have not engaged launch control properly. But 0 to 62 is in 4.5 seconds. Now you compare that to the TTRS, which delivers it in 3.9. There's a bit of a difference there, although they run the same platform and the same horsepower. That 5-cylinder sound though, regardless of what car you're in, sounds tremendous. It is brilliant. Oh, I love that noise. Now, this car, not only will it do 0 to 62 in 4.5 seconds, but it will deliver a top speed of 174 miles per hour, providing that you pay Audi to remove the limiter off it. But it's worth doing. I mean, listen. It's half the noise of an R8. I mean, I love that. And it, like I said, you know, that was one of the biggest things that I love about the TTRS is the 5-cylinder sound from the 2.5. And amazing. I reckon we might try another launch. I don't think I gave it any justice because it just completely bogged down. So we'll slow it down again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. That's odd. I'm sure this has a launch. I can't seem to engage it for some reason. Anyway, that'll do. That was the test. It failed. So how much is one of these cars? So this car base is about 50 grand, which isn't bad when you think about it for what kind of money you put down for a lot of car, because it is a lot of car. This has got quite a few options in it, and with a spec options price, this comes in around £59,000. Revs out at 7,000 RPM. Yeah, it is a punchy car. And it goes back to who's this car catered for. I mean, this really is catered for, you know, it's that, I guess it is a one-car garage, I guess, you know, and I said that about the RS6 being the ultimate. This is very, very far away from being ultimate. In fact, I would argue to say that, you know, this RS car may not necessarily, it feels a little out of place for me in the RS range. I mean, it's got all the goodies in terms of the engine, but it doesn't feel as good as the TTRS or the RS3. Check the kick down, foot to floor. Eventually we get it. But take away, forget about the performance of the engine at this moment in time. Let's start to look at the interior and the cabin space, because when you're going to buy one of these, a compact SUV, you want to be comfortable in what you do. And I can guarantee you though, inside here is lovely. These seats, I mean, wow, these for me are probably the best RS seats that I've seen. I love the stitching on them, the hexagon stitching. I love the way they look. I love the Alcantara here on the side. It's a really, really nice, comfy cabin. It's spacious too. And of course, because this is it's a compact SUV, it is quick for sure. Because this is a compact SUV, you sit quite high, and very similar to when I drove the Stelvio Quadrifoglio, it gives you that really good vantage point. I sit and I can absorb the surroundings. It is very, very nice. I can just see over the dash, just that Killarney green bonnet. It attracts so much attention, this colour. In terms of the dash, this for me, I really like this. You've got this beautiful kind of Alcantara with carbon fibre dash. Really, really nice. It kind of marries up beautifully with the piano black screen, which I really like. You get the Apple CarPlay as standard on this. However, when you get to the middle bit, the centre section here, I feel that it was almost like they designed this at the end of a shift. They're like, yeah, we make really good progress on this, but stuff that. This bit here looks a little bit cheap to me. It looks a little bit, yeah, whatever kind of thing. Same with this, a bit kind of cheapo plastics here alongside some really nice Alcantara. But then I guess that's reflected in the price, because all in, like I said, £50,000 base, this 59 grand. So it is a lot of car for the money. I sit very comfortably in these seats. My passenger will sit very comfortably. Behind me, we also get reasonable space in the back of the car. Not massive amounts of space that you get from like one of the Avant cars, like an RS4 or an RS6, but it's a very different kind of car. Just feel that, oh my word, it's understeering a little bit there. Once you get it, like I said, this is a point-to-point car. Straight line speed is where this is at. I mean, you can go as far as specking in carbon ceramics on this thing. Do you need them? I really don't think you do. Let's get around these cyclists. You can just hear that noise, man. One more, look at this. Nice. Back into sport. So yeah, the rear seat's very nice. The rear kind of air conditioning unit, as well as a little on the cheaper side, again reflected in what you pay for the price. Boot space in this, very, 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 very vast boot. You can put loads of stuff in this, and for a long journey, you can put everything you need for a real kind of nice road trip in this. You don't have to worry about loading the back seats up with stuff, because there's so much boot space in it. But does it really feel like an RS car to me? Yes and no. I'm trying to be polite to an extent. I don't not like this car, because that's an understatement. I do like this car, but I feel like it's trying a bit too hard to be an RS car. That's my verdict. The RSQ3 is an RS car that's trying a little bit too hard. Would I buy one of these? Definitely not. I would much rather get an RS3 Saloon or a TTRS. That's the car I would choose. But if you've got a family, I can see why people would like to buy one of these. And yeah, but if I'm being brutally honest, and you're going to pay 60k for one of these kind of cars, I would save the money and I would buy a Stelvio Quadrifoglio personally. You get an extra 100 horsepower. Yes, the interior isn't as nice, but for me, the Stelvio still feels a bit more nimble. And when you're punching through the gears in the Stelvio, you are powering through those, whereas this a little bit more on the lazy side. So there you go, guys. It goes to show you the whole platform needs to marry up, not just the engine. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. A kind of honest review on the RSQ3. A cool car, but a confused car. My name is Stef. You guys have been awesome. Make sure to subscribe. I'll do a POV drive on this car as well, so you can drive this thing. And I'll see you all very soon on the next video. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.